Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. Today I have another ritual for you. I like to do this one when I'm feeling overstimulated or my ego is out of control and I'm overly concerned with things that have absolutely no value in my life. Today I think we are tainted by a society in a way that we cannot even control anymore. And we forget ourselves along the way. So this ritual for me, and hopefully for you, is a way to put pause on everything that's going on in your life and to turn down the noise a little bit. This ritual is very, very simple, and its simplicity is kind of what makes it special for me. It's very effective because of its simplicity, and I'll explain that once we get to the individual steps. At the end of this ritual, I often feel like I have some kind of armor on, like I've built up some kind of resiliency to society and my lowest instincts. My goal for any of these rituals, these personal rituals that I disclose to you guys, is to lift you above the line. The line being the horizon, the line being where the world ends and the ether begins. I'd like to share my findings from the times in which I treated myself as the author of my reality, where I lived my life for an hour or two doing the most basic of things, breathing in a way that I desire, that is not dictated by anybody else. I want to share the feeling of being the god of your own world, of your own universe. Self-care is a lot more than just a face mask and a glass of Merlot in the tub. Self-care is about enrichment. Self-care requires discipline and it takes work. This ritual doesn't require a lot of work, but you'll find that some of the simplest things that you do unconsciously every day, are not helping you. And the steps in this ritual are to be conscious of those little things and then to try and change them for the better. You'll understand what I mean when you come to the steps. You want to awaken your senses. Anyway, so self-care is about enrichment. It's about awakening the senses, expanding your mental repertoire, sharpening your vision. So without further ado, this is my ritual to purify the soul and to lift you above the line. First thing you should do is wake up early. Other rituals that I have done are usually at night. I usually prefer my rituals at night, but this one is specifically for the daytime. The day brings renewal and clarity in the mind, especially if it's sunny outside. Waking up earlier than you normally do gives you a sense of control over your life. And it seems that this ritual to purify the soul has a lot to do with control over the body, of conquering the body, which is what allows you to lift above the line. So I learned this a few years ago, that whenever you take time for yourself, you add time to your day that has to do specifically with you and not with anyone else. You feel a hell of a lot better about yourself, about your life, and the control that you have over it. So what I used to do in college is I used to just, instead of waking up at the last alarm, or for work right now, waking up at the last alarm and just barely getting into work, I wake up an hour or two earlier now. I don't wait for life to kick me in the ass. I get up and I do something that I want to do. I'll go and get a coffee. I'll listen to some music. I'll draw, I'll write, whatever. I take time before the thing that I don't want to do. I take that time for myself, and I take that time to participate in whatever desire that I have at the time, whatever pleasure it is that I want. So when you go into doing that thing you don't want to do, going to school, going to work, participating in something you don't want to participate in, you don't feel so bad about it. And in fact, it doesn't seem so much like a bad thing. It just seems like something you cross off your list. It's not the priority. It's not the first in line. It's not the first thing that you subject yourself to during the day. So waking up early, waking up an hour or two earlier before you have to do anything that you don't want to do, makes you feel so much better. You might be tired at first, But you'll quickly get over that because, I mean, just, I don't know. I used to walk to a coffee shop and I used to just get a nice foamy cappuccino and I would just read. And it would just make me feel so much better. I felt happy. I was happy before I was annoyed that I had to go to school. So that's a huge thing. Wake up early, seize the day, literally. That bad thing that you have to do all the time, or that annoying thing that you have to do all the time, does not have to be your primary concern. You don't have to treat it like that. The second one is where you'll understand what I mean about these simple things, these habits that you do every day. So don't talk at all if you can, unless you have to order a coffee or whatever, or you have to say goodbye to somebody. Try to not talk as much as possible. Try to be completely mute. I am somebody that talks way too much. I am somebody that talks to myself frequently, which is just, it's annoying, it's exhausting. Talking too much is exhausting. There's a reason why it's exhausting. It's because you don't need to talk as much as you do. Being mute for an hour or two really does something special, in my opinion. The less you say, the better. Always. It means that you're listening. It means that you're contemplating what you say before you say it. I started learning the effect of this a few months ago. And I would actually see how long I could go without talking, without saying a word. Like not even saying, oh fuck, whenever you drop something. Like just being totally silent as much as possible. And really it was luxurious. Just to lift the weight off of your shoulders, to know that you don't have to talk. You don't have to exert the energy to speak a damn word. That is so freeing. It's so liberating to know that, because we are consistently validating ourselves through words. Every day we're having conversations with people. We're saying hello, how are you, just to make sure that they feel okay and that we have acknowledged them. We have conversations, small talk, bullshit talk with people that mean nothing, just to be polite. We talk to ourselves. We say fuck whenever we drop something. Talking is just, I would say at times that talking is just one of the lowest actions that you can do. Talking at times can just seem so superfluous. It's unnecessary. Talking just to talk. Talking is validating whatever silly little idea you have about yourself or whatever it is you're saying. And talking too much is even worse in that case. You are validating and giving merit to every egotistical, every neurotic thought that passes through your mind. It's just better not to. And it brings you peace. You find that when you stop talking, when you just try to level yourself out, and that's exactly what it does, it almost pacifies you. You feel so much more at peace. You don't feel obligated by things as much. And you feel that you can think more. You can feel that, you start to feel that your thoughts become a little bit more matured. You only speak when it's important, when something is worth saying. Not speaking is a means of control over the mind. And I was honestly really surprised at the physical reaction that I had whenever I would just be silent for a couple of hours. It seemed that not speaking did more than just calm me down. My physical body, my limbs, everything that I did, I was a lot more gentle. I was more careful. I was more purposeful. So it amazes me how words can literally weigh you down, and we don't want that. This ritual is to lift you up, to lighten that weight. You start to think of words after a while as kind of childish and attention-seeking and just vain. And words by nature are manipulative and inadequate to describe daily life and things that you actually feel on the inside. Or they're absolutely perfect. There's actually, to end this part, there's a very interesting video on YouTube. It's called The Treachery of Language, and it talks about David Lynch's older films and just his idea behind why he never explains his films. And it goes even further to discuss other concepts around language and speech. So the next thing, do not eat. Now, if you are a eating disordered person, please do not listen to this part. Skip to, I'll write it here. Keeping an empty stomach is a way to feel this kind of weightlessness, this lightness. I don't know how else to describe this other than that this just works. It's just clean the body. Let the body be empty for a while. Let it rely on itself for a while. Let it become alert and really kind of savor this feeling of feeling empty. There's something quite nice about it. I don't really know how else to explain it. Just act like a deity. Like you don't need to eat. Like you don't need to do those things. Eat later on though. I'm not advocating not eating at all. Eat. Just not for a little bit, you know? Next is to listen to classical music. And I mean classical music, not music of your choice. Classical music may not be everyone's thing, but classical music is universally appreciated and has everlasting beauty, in my opinion. Now, this ritual is to help you live above the line, and classical music will do that for you. There is something about classical music, if you listen to it enough, you will realize why classical music has been appreciated for such a long time and why it's consistently being recycled in new music and why it kind of has a timelessness about it. The reason why classical music is so special and the reason why I implore people to listen to it is because there's something about it, and I'm not the only person to say this, that activates the higher senses, that activates the higher echelons of the brain. It stimulates something that almost feels like your soul or something that's higher than your human self. A lot of music today does not do this. Classical music, there's something in the tempo, there's something in the harmony, there's something in, down to even mathematical details of compositions that really just seem like they are like cosmic. Like there's something universal about this language that is being spoken through classical music. It's like after you listen to classical music, it's almost like you've discovered new colors in the spectrum. Like the movements of people start to look like some kind of fleshy machine. You basically just have to find a composer that you like. That's what's important. Not all music is treated the same for everybody. So do your research and find a composer of your choice. Okay, so the last thing to do once you've gotten to the point and you are feeling this kind of perfect bliss, this almost kind of tingling feeling. Now, your brain is probably ready to unleash whatever's going on in here. Write it down. Write down whatever's on your mind, whatever idea popped up, whatever you thought about when you were listening to classical music, whatever you thought about when the caffeine hit you, whatever it is, write it down, draw it. Make a diary entry if you like to keep a diary. Take what you didn't say for 2 hours and put that onto paper. Completely unload your mind. And if this is your first time doing this, not talking at all for like an hour or two, or 3 or 4, whatever, how long you want to do this, then you'll find great comfort and relief in being able to just write down all of the things that you didn't say, all of your thoughts. And you'll find that this is really great for creativity. So do you see how this kind of acts like a detox, like a cleanse in a way? So you are allowing things to build up. You are stimulating your mind and starving your ego. And then you're releasing all of that pent-up energy. I hate to use the word energy because I start to sound like a spiritual healer or something. Energies are there. They're real. They're active. It's basically like restarting a computer, starting fresh, cleaning the slate. Give your body a chance to breathe, to recuperate. It's like going to sleep and allowing your cells to regenerate. This is what you want. With all of this, you are having control over the body. You're conquering the body. And by conquering the body, you are able to go above the line. You're able to lift yourself into the ether. You are able to be a kind of deity. This is this whole channel now, is beauty and trying to become a god at some point. Okay. That's the end of this video. That is the ritual. Simple but effective. I really hope that you liked it. Let me know what your results were. If it worked for you, give it a try. Thank you again for watching this video, for all of the support that you guys give me. Please make sure to leave a like, a comment, click the bell for notifications, subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Goodbye.